All right, we are almost live. Let's see. Almost there. And it looks like we are live. Hello everyone and welcome. Crash here. This is RTA Motorsports. And right now we're going to jump into some project cars. If you paid attention to the stream that we did yesterday, kind of did like an informal stream. We just had a little bit of fun with Project Cars 2. And just tried out a few different things. We never really completed any races. We were just jumping in and out of everything, kind of seeing how everything felt. Crashed a lot, but you know, just had a little bit of fun. Today what we're gonna do is maybe take it a little bit more serious, and I want to revisit Spa. We have the Audi R8 LMS, but I think I might want to change that because we driven it yesterday. So I kind of want to try something else. And I really like that the controls are working on the wheel. So I'm just going to give you my first impressions real quick as to what I think about Project Cars, because I'm getting a lot of questions in my private inbox about what I feel and should people buy it. I think you should buy it. So far it feels like a really solid title, a very good all-arounder. But there is a lot of room for improvement. Whether or not that will happen is a whole nother story. I know in the beginning of Project Cars 1 we were promised some improvements that never really came to fruition, and that left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. If you like GT3 style racing, GTE, GT1, even some of the older cars, let's go up here and group by class. Even these group, let's see, group 6, no, Group A. These Group A cars are absolutely awesome, and driving around city type tracks, very tight tracks, these are perfect, and they handle just like they do in race room racing experience. Specifically, they are a lot of fun. They are challenging. They are very challenging cars to drive. My favorite so far is this M3. The Sierra Cosworth, there's huge turbo lag. It is pretty difficult to drive, but this M3 for me felt the best so far, the easiest to just jump in and kind of get a handle of. I feel the menu system inside of Project Cars 2, it all makes sense. It all seems to work really well. I was able to jump in and kind of get going very quickly, very easily. Everything was pretty logical. It felt like a newer title with all the menu systems, everything. I like it. To set up motion was actually pretty darn easy. I went to the website, let's see here. I went to X Simulator, where I get all my plugins for motion. I'm a member there. I got my plugin for Project Cars 2. I dropped it in the SimTools updater. From there you go into Project Cars, and I'll actually show you where that menu is. If you do have a motion rig, you're going to want to definitely pay attention here. You go to Options, and this is after you already install the plugin, which just takes a moment. You drag and drop the file into the plugin updater and it installs it. Then you open up SimTools and you go to patch the game. You just click one button, patch, and it tells you exactly what to do. So you go to System, and under shared memory you go to Project Cars 2. That's it, and it works. The cool thing is, if you have any sort of systems that, or any programs or anything that you purchased or that you're running that works with Project Cars 1 only, you could actually set these to be Project Cars 1 and it'll work with it automatically, which is pretty darn awesome. But that's where you set that up. But you know, some cars I was having an issue with last night. I feel some of the older cars, or the slower cars, not the Group A cars, but the slower cars, meaning street cars, I feel that their tire models needs a little work. I know I'm going to go back to that Chevy Camaro ZL1 that we actually driven yesterday. It didn't drive anywhere near what I feel the ZL1 should drive. It felt very floaty. The suspension felt very weak, very loose, and I didn't have much steering feel at all. It just kind of driven like a boat, which was very weird, and the sound was completely off. It had an AMG turbo sound to the engine where it should have a little bit of a higher pitched, but a supercharger whine, something we didn't actually experience. And that was a little bit of a letdown, but that's just with that one car. So far, all the other cars I've driven have been pretty darn good. There's a weird spot where you lose grip and the car just, it's almost like iRacing in that sense, where the car will just slide very easily after that. At certain points, you could save the car very well, easier than iRacing. A little bit more of what I would expect to be realistic, but in other times, the car will just slide out from under you, and you just you can't save it. It just seems like it's sliding forever. Sounds are really good. Some cars sound phenomenal, like the Ferrari 488 sounds absolutely awesome. I think that's probably one of the better sounding cars in the title, just personal preference. But let's see, we gotta actually, being that we clicked off the title, we have to click back onto it, pull it back up. So I believe that that car sounds the best to me and what I like, but I'll show you that here. A lot of Ferraris in here. The Ferrari 488 GTE and the normal GT3, they sound absolutely phenomenal. They handle really well, and I think the sweet spot with this title is like the GT vehicles, and some of the older Group A type cars. Any sort of race car, I think this title does really well, and that's probably where most of their fan base is going to be in. I haven't tried any of the karts yet. That never really excited me. I haven't tried any of the LMP1, 2s, or the 900s. Haven't tried any of these. But so far, I've been really impressed with the GT vehicles, as well as the GTE and the Group A. Really impressed with that. But like I was saying, the sounds are really good so far, but there's one tire squeal when you're locking up the brakes that is the same noise no matter what vehicle you're in, and it repeats. It's very obvious that it does. It only took me about 5 minutes of driving to realize that that same noise is what's repeating. It's very high pitched, a little bit on the annoying side, but that's the only noise that I could really find that was a little bit on the annoying side. Let's see if we could find that Audi again. See if maybe we could actually, we'll drive the 488 GT3. This track here with Group A cars, the Azure circuit, absolutely awesome. That's what I mean by the city type tracks, the circuit tracks that wrap around the city. Very tight corners, absolutely awesome with those cars. I think that's where those cars really shine. Very hard, very difficult. We're going to jump into Spa, and we're going to leave it midday, but the forecast, we're going to do full-on rain. Now, I don't know how to set multiple weather patterns for one session. If you do know how to do that, definitely let me know. I know you could set one for practice and one for, you know, qualifying and whatnot, but I don't know how to set multiple ones for one race session. I don't know if also the weather pattern changes if you're doing a longer style race. And oh, we're in private testing. Let me get out of here. Custom race. There we go. Interesting. Okay. Also, I found a way to enable me to control the car during rolling starts as well as in the pits, which is pretty awesome. And I'll do a practice session so you can see when we're in the pits how actually driving the car out of pits is. And it's kind of like iRacing because you do have a speed limit that you have to keep the car under. But it's a little hard to tell what your speed is. In some of the older cars that don't have a speedometer, you got to keep looking to the right in VR to see what your speed is on that actual HUD. And, you know, compared to what's above, I think they should adopt the iRacing method where they have your speed and the speed limit right next to each other. So it's really easy to see what you're doing. It's no big deal, but just would make it a little easier. For qualifying, let's not leave that. 16. Oh, never mind. Never mind. And a lot of the rules are, hey Benj, how you doing? Benj Claus is here. He says, hi, how are you doing? I'm doing really good. How are you? A lot of the rules are pretty strict as far as track cutting, or if you cut someone off and it was kind of like a dangerous maneuver, it'll actually tell you that you have like 15 or 20 seconds to go back and place behind that person you just cut off. So, and that's normally with either for some reason it looks like the headset's floating a little bit. It's normally with some dangerous maneuvers, or if you're cutting a corner. So we're inside the pits right now.
Go, go, go.
For some reason everything looks a little tilted, but I think that just might be from the track itself. Now I want to see if this is kind of like Assetto Corsa. Oh, increase the number of weather slots. Okay, I'll try that next time. I want to see if this is like Assetto Corsa, if we actually get out the car, if it'll keep tracking, or if there's a limit as to how much it'll let you go outside of the vehicle. Because I know Assetto Corsa blew my mind when I got out of the car, and we were pretty much just like staring at the wheels for a while on the brakes. So let's see if we can do that here. Just hold on one second. Oh, but the car... Look at that! There's no actual modeling of the car when you're on the in-cockpit view. I guess they did that to help the frame rate. But anything you wouldn't normally see is not really modeled. Makes sense. Phantom, don't tell me what to do. So yeah, as you can see, you can get out of the car, but it's not really modeled. It's kind of like Dirt Rally, where depending on the view you're in, when you get out of the car, it actually will only show you basically what you would experience from inside the cockpit. Let's make sure we're not going to hit the mic. So you can see we're still in the pits. It didn't do an auto drive out or anything like that. And you can see the speed limit that we have to keep it under. But off to the right in the HUD, I could see it in my point of view, but it's not really that clear. Now this car here, I do have a speedometer in the actual dash display, which is nice. least I thought I did. Yep.
The track is wet, so nice and smooth with the power.
Here we go. Oh no! Oh no! That's
Got suspension damage. You'll probably need to come in for repairs.
What the heck was that about? Let's return to the pit box. And you can set it to manually start the vehicle. Maybe I don't have a speedometer in this dash display. Thought I did. Oh, this is freaky. All the motion's coming over pretty well, pretty accurate. Feel a lot of the road telemetry as well as the shifts kind of buck the whole rig. Oh no! Off the track. Well, this is only the practice session. Got qualifying next. Sun rays coming through the windshield. This looks amazing. Come on, turn. Some things in the interior of the car are actually shaking and moving around. So let's go to return the pit box, and only got a minute and 40 seconds left. Can't figure out exactly how to... like end this current session and go straight into qualifying. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I can't figure it out. Or maybe skip to end? Alright. So let's see if this is going to put us right into qualifying.
Qualifying determines your placement on the starting grid for the race. The
Custom
faster time you set in
aerodynamics,
qualifying,
yeah, right?
the higher you'll be up on the grid. This is often the session where your car will be tuned for maximum attack. The Setup and Strategy tab allows you to change the settings on your car, as well as to configure a pit stop strategy for the upcoming race. You can also view a summary of your current series rules and regulations. Take the car out for a few laps, then return to the pits and try tweaking your car setup to improve your lap times.
Alrighty. Go to edit setup. One thing I know we don't need is a full tank of fuel. I would think it would be in here. Differential. Maybe not. I'm sure it's here somewhere. I just can't tell exactly where to adjust the fuel. All right, we'll just go. Oh, there's the speed at the bottom. That looks like it's in kilometers, where I have the game set to miles per hour. So 59 at the moment. There we go. There's also penalties if you cross the pit line on pit exit, stuff like that. Cars almost feel like they handle with a cross between iRacing and Assetto Corsa. You can imagine what that would feel like. It's almost what it almost feels like I'm experiencing here. It's not as forgiving as Assetto Corsa. Especially when the tires are cold. But we have full damage on right now, so whatever happens will affect the race.
Let's take pole. You can do it.
Stop. only got 2 minutes of the session left. I don't know if we're really going to put down a competitive time or not. Hit by AI. Doesn't actually just cut you off at least. It's like these random piles of dirt on the track. They all look the same. I don't know if it's glass from AI hitting each other or what.
We qualified outside the top three, but we can make that up in the race.
Yeah, no joke. I think we qualified last. Yep, dead last. 4 seconds behind the next person ahead. Looks like 7 seconds behind the lead car. So, the one thing we're going to have going for us is the fact that it's going to be raining. So, maybe we'll be able to actually catch the can I drive the Lamborghini in this or not? Yeah, I can drive the Lamborghini. There's actually a ton of Lamborghinis in this title. Yeah, there's definitely quite a few Lamborghinis. All right. Oh, that's pretty cool. You kind of just let them know what you're feeling. All right. Let's give that a shot during the race. Let's see how that feels. I like that. So it's almost like a race speaking to the engineer, telling them what they're actually feeling. We have 31 other cars on the track right now. I thought I set the weather to be raining. I don't know what happened. We don't have any rain. Oh, that was so close. It's going to make me go back behind that other car. Come on. Come past me. Because I cut the track to actually cut, well, to pass him. Doesn't like that. I have the AI on 90%. Aggressiveness on, I think it's like 45 or 50%. See them passing each other right here. But for the most part, they're staying in a straight line. all traction there. Looks like there's a car in the pits. So we're not dead last, at least. Still feels like it's pushing a little bit. Shouldn't really have to slow down during that corner. pits and have them adjust that. What it'll actually do. 'Cause I feel like I have no grip. Oh, so you actually can't. I would have to go right back into the pit box. Let's see. And we would have to completely retire the race. Let's just go. We'll just keep going with it. My gosh. Alright, so we're gonna try another race with same track, different car. I'm sorry, I hate to quit out of races, but when there's just no hope and it's AI. Ooh, actually, that reminds me. Let's see if there's actually anyone online. Let's see. But if a sim means that it's difficult, this is definitely a sim. It's pretty darn difficult. Definitely harder than Assetto Corsa. See what they're going to be racing here. Actually racing. Doesn't really seem to be too many people in each session. This one's locked, and you could actually watch the race from here, which is pretty darn cool. You could cast it. That is awesome. Okay. See if there's... They're actually currently in a race. It looks like any... Hmm. See how this works out. Yeah, I love that Ferrari, but I definitely have to make sure I get the setup right. We need to spend more time in it. The issue I was having with it is just it seems to understeer like crazy. See if it actually will let me join. I know the server is pretty far away, so it was giving me a yellow indicator saying that the connection's not going to be the greatest, so don't really like to join sessions that we're not going to be able to. Okay, so it didn't even let me join in. Okay, let's see, browse online. Let's try something else. Not, we'll do filling one person in there, one person in there. It's like one person in each lobby. Hmm. See if he'll let me join this one. So far I'm not having... MLT Chandler says, yeah, just need some more hours in it. Definitely. Definitely need some more time in it. It's like driving a different vehicle. It does feel... And that's the thing, though. Like, a lot of the cars in this title feel similar and almost reminiscent of a lot of the other cars that you have driven in the other Sims. As far as, like, you know, the 488 from Assetto Corsa and the new one in iRacing and whatnot. So they do feel reminiscent of their counterparts, but you could almost tell that the setups are a little skewed, and you know it's going to take some practice. It's going to take some time to really get everything dialed in, but definite proof of concept. And I like the rainy weather, racing, fog, nighttime looks awesome. I'm just hoping we actually get into a multiplayer session. This one actually gave us a green indicator stating that we shouldn't have any problems with connecting. But it's taking a while to connect. Sinyas, how you doing? He says he also had difficulty with joining. What do you think about the tracks? He still likes to settle course some more. Assetto Corsa is better for drifting. Hands down, so far. The one car they have in here for drifting, I can't drift. But I think it makes more sense with this title being a complete package. Yeah, look at this. Disconnected as well. I don't know, maybe it's because we're streaming at the same time that's affecting our ability. As a complete package, I like this more. It offers, you know, you have the Rallycross, which was actually pretty good. Surprisingly good, actually. Let's see if I can find my sequential shift knob and maybe we'll jump into some of that. Missing that darn thing for a little while now. But yeah, that was actually surprisingly good. A lot of fun, but I can see what you mean. Assetto Corsa, I think, is a little bit better as far as the physics and the AI. It's definitely a little easier to drive, a little bit more forgiving. But that's not to say that this is a bad title at all. I think the actual driving in this title is still a lot of fun. It's just different. It's going to be something that we're going to all have to get used to. All the different Lamborghinis we have here. We have the old GTR, Huracan GT3, Sesto Elemento. The old school F1 GTR. You know what? Let's drive the P1 GTR. And we'll leave this 31 people, same class. We won't do practice or qualifying. We'll just leave it on random. But I want... Weird, the whole title just crashed. It says, crash report. Problem caused your program to close. Describe the error. Okay. So let's actually bring that up. That was weird. Never experienced that before. But yeah, also, I would say the VR support, someone, Crazy Dan just said, excellent VR support as well. Now, I'm not sure what side you're actually speaking of as far as what one has better VR support, whether it be Assetto Corsa or Project Cars 2. Right now, I'm actually really impressed with both of their performance in VR. Assetto Corsa does run better, but there's less going on in the Assetto Corsa graphics. The tracks look really good. I think the dry tracks, and let me see if I could actually bump this up a little bit. Maybe we'll just drive around the Nordschleife. Visual effects. Got everything on. Performance, graphics performance. Okay. So it's actually, we'll knock this down to 2. Got that all the way up. FreeSync is off. MSAA, medium. Reflections, environment, map. Okay, so let's put this on ultra. Car detail, ultra, track detail, ultra, shadow detail, low. We're running a 1080 Ti, so we're really just going to try to crank this up and see what happens. Particle level, let's put this on high. And detailed grass, let's put that on medium. And we'll drive around the Nordschleife and I'll compare it, because what I was going to say was on the dry tracks, when tracks are very dry, it's almost hard to tell that anything's going on the tracks. The tracks look very bland and one color, very plain looking. But we also had track detail and everything on a lower setting than I would run on Assetto Corsa. Assetto Corsa, I have everything maxed out and it runs perfectly fine. Hamaztrix says his crash last night, they need to do a quick fix update. Yeah, yep, they definitely do. Crazy Dan clarified. He said he was talking about P-Cars having excellent VR support. Yes, they do. And P-Cars 2, honestly, when you're driving in the rain, amazing. Amazing. The cars ahead, the little hazing effect of the taillights going to the rain, it feels freaky real. Like, as I'm driving, I kind of feel like maybe little rain droplets are hitting me in the arms. So weird. So weird. It's very strange. MLT Chandler asks, would I ever consider doing a race with just mouse and keyboard just for fun? I've tried it before. Not in this title, but I've tried it before, and I can't do it. It sucks. I'm absolutely... I mean, I'm already horrible, but I just can't even do that. I would give it a try with a controller. I have a Steam controller back there. I would definitely give it a try with that, but, yeah. Let's go to quick play, and... like I said, we'll do the P1 GTR. I'm going to lower the opponent setting because you see we have them on 90. Let's go to 85. An aggressive setting, we'll put this on like 32. And we'll see what happens. We're going to leave it on random. And we're going to go to the Nordschleife. I really want to run with rain, but I want to see how everything looks. Well, maybe we'll run with rain, but more like a... I don't know. How come I'm not seeing it? Where is it? No, it's right in front of my face. Down a little bit. Alphabetical order. We know we know our alphabet, don't we? Hopefully. Let's see. All right, there we go. Nordschleife. And season, summer. Weather forecast, let's see. We'll kind of split the difference. We'll do rain instead of light rain. Gonna make things a little tough around certain parts of this track. Yeah, the replays are a little rough. Hasmatrix says, oh my god, the replays suck. Couple of views and that's it. Yeah, the replays are a little rough, but honestly, I never paid attention to replays too much. I used to back in like Gran Turismo days, Gran Turismo 3 days. I used to really love the replays, but I don't know. I guess I just don't really have the time to watch the whole replays, so I just don't. So I don't really pay attention to them at all. Not to say that they're, you know, not important or anything. Just personally, I don't pay attention to them. All right, here we go. So let's see where it put us. 21st out of 32 cars. I'm not getting any clipping or skipping or anything like that. We have graphical settings pretty high. You can see a lot of graffiti on, oh, sorry about that, just hit the mic. You can see a lot of graffiti over there on the side of the track. The car next to you can see the rain kind of accumulating on the car itself. So far so good. You know what? We need to get the belts on. Let's get the belts going. Feels like a good time just as any to get the belts going. Someone was asking, why do I actually run with belts? If you are on any of the sim racing forums at all, like X Simulator, a lot of people do. It prevents you from almost like absorbing a lot of the motion and really makes you feel the motion because now you're tied into the cockpit. All right, here we go. Wish me luck. Hold on, we gotta pause. I'm actually hitting the microphone. I didn't realize I would be. I should try bumping up super sampling to 1.8. Hasmatrix asks, isn't 1.8 too much for 1080? I have a 1080 Ti. But even then, I think 1.8 would be a lot. Most titles I run 1.2 to 1.5, depending on the title. And anything above that, it's almost like a little bit hard to tell if there's even a difference. Like no traction at all. Ah. I don't think this car was a good idea. Nope. All right. This was a pretty rough idea for this car here. I know what car we're gonna try. We're going to do that same track, but we're going to use the Audi R8. That's kind of like, that's been my favorite car to race in the, it's the R8 LMS, the 24-hour. Been my favorite car to race in the rain. Seems to handle the rain really well. That McLaren, I mean, I felt like I was ice skating. I was like, what the heck is going on here? So super sampling, essentially what you're doing, it's a setting that's in this title. A lot of times you do it within the headset itself, within Steam VR. Super sampling enables you to basically render a higher resolution, and then it downsamples it to the screens. MLT asks, what is super sampling? So when you do that, you actually are kind of creating like an artificial AA, anti-aliasing. So it actually creates like a sharper image, and it makes it reading text a lot easier, seeing cars in the distance a lot easier. The problem is you're rendering a much higher resolution before it actually hits the screen itself, so it's a lot more of an impact on your graphics card. It's basically a multiplier. So your 1.8 is basically rendering 1.8 times the resolution. Notice it's skipping a bit, and it seems to have crashed. Did it crash? I think it did. Yep, it crashed, and now it's saying I have a graphics driver available. Oh, okay. So it actually didn't crash. What happened there was the NVIDIA the NVIDIA pop-up icon telling me I have a graphics driver available minimized the game, if that makes any sense. Okay, so we're gonna restart that. Hopefully NVIDIA doesn't minimize my game again. So no crash, we're good so far. And I think I accidentally left this on instead of time to be laps. Yeah, you can see the graffiti on the track a little bit. So we're not actually going to finish this because I'm not going to do 12 laps at the north side, but that'll take all day. See the puddles kind of picking up on those low areas there. But I think this is really where it shines. And you know what? It's running really smooth. I have 32 cars, including my car, on the track right now with rain in VR. all the graphic settings except for, you know, anti-aliasing and whatnot, pretty high. Everything looks absolutely phenomenal. Front end got a little light there, just as I would expect. Feel the car sliding. Hopefully you can see where the dry sections of the track are and where the wet ones are. I'm actually trying to follow a normal driving line, which is a serious no-no. You can see all the graffiti on the track through that section back there. Some puddles building up there on the inside, the low section. Some puddles on the inside, trying to avoid the inside. I don't want to get spun around. McLaren trying to come up on the outside. Get the tight left-hander coming up. This is truly a challenge. Trying to do this in the rain. No. No front end grip on that one. Mirrors work just as they would in real life. You don't have like screens. As you move your head, the image in the mirror moves as well to look around things. For all intents and purposes, these are probably the best looking mirrors that I've seen. Let's see how we handle the carousel. Oh, it was slippery. But we did good. We handled it. Come on. Hold it in there. A little bit of stuttering through that section. Somehow saved it. Somehow. thought he was going right around. Oh, he's losing it again. So, an important difference between this car and the GT3 version of this car is we have more horsepower. We have like over 500 horsepower. The GT3 version of the 488, it's like 370, 369 around there. We only have traction control, where the GT3 version has traction control and ABS. So, braking is tricky in this car, but not bad at all. Very easily approachable. You see the AI passing each other right up ahead. Oh, they're going too wide in that section. Up beyond these cars here. I have no super sampling on. I was still able to see that perfectly. You know, for no super sampling, this title actually looks really good. I haven't really felt the need to add super sampling yet.
You're in a good spot for taking him. Don't take too much risk. Try and squeeze past when you can.
Getting there. We're starting to catch them a little bit as we get used to the car, how the wet track feels. Oh, someone's in the dirt. Is that McLaren? Puddles there. Going into the wall.
You may need to start defending from the guy behind. He's not too far back, he might make a move. still under pressure. This is great stuff. You're going to do him in the next few laps.
Oh, you saw that puddle building up on the backside of the carousel. That's going to be dangerous. Come on. See the flames flying out from the car ahead? This is insanity. It really is. It's so difficult trying to find the place to pass this car ahead. There we go. I think we got him. on. Come on. Pretty big mistake there. Surprised we didn't get past. Sure, if I would have had the aggression up, they would have just slammed into the back of me.
Okay, we've got some pressure coming from behind. Start thinking about defense.
This is so immersive. I hope you all get a chance. If you don't own a motion rig or VR or, you know, wheels and pedals, I hope you all get a chance to try this one day. You can see the crosswind from the rain coming across the track. This is what we used to dream for not that many years back, and it's finally here. Well, not this. We got past. Hear all the debris and stuff hitting my car from the car ahead. My yellow headlights shining off the back of the Z4 ahead of us. Oh, they're trying to make a move on each other. sun's starting to go down. See the sun rays coming in through the cockpit. The track is notably getting darker.
That's your fastest final split time so far. Nice driving. You're up to 6th place. Keep pushing, you're catching.
Oh man, looks like the heavens are opening up.
That's your best first sector so far. Nice one.
Oh no! Our tires are just not wanting to cooperate right now. They just like gave up. I don't know if maybe we're hitting puddles. See that dry area of the track started forming. We're gonna have to slow it down a little bit. That puddle and just whipped us around. We didn't lose it though, but it really did manhandle the car quite a bit. Can't even take that turn the same way we just did last lap. Oh, we got a hit. Look at this. No traction. Get into that carousel as much as I would want it to. Come on. I like the VR sound as you move your head. You hear different things, but it's very subtle. It's not as crazy as iRacing's version of it. See an Audi coming up to the left. The track is starting to dry up on this front straight here from everyone driving over it. It's pretty nice. Look at this track. From the heat of the cars and the tires starting to affect where the dry patches are on the track. Get past. I don't think we have enough. Actually, can't see. My headlights are just gleaming off the water that he's kicking up. And I can't see anything. I'm just following taillights right now. There we go.
That's P8. Good job. You're moving up the order.
See the flames shooting out of the car? Got hit by AI. Getting pushed by AI again. Tires are definitely pretty tired. Doesn't really look it on the monitor there, but I feel it. I don't know, maybe it's because dry and wet sections of the track are messing with it. I don't need any more bright things in my eyes right now because I can barely see the track. So we're gonna turn off some of the HUDs. Definitely pit in. Maybe we can. I mean, we're gonna have to anyway, so we can use a fuel up anyway. We also have mechanical damage on too, so car feels like it's definitely down on power now. Probably from when we slammed the wall a few times. You can see there, we do have some engine damage, front end and rear end damage as well. And that's why we are significantly slower than everyone at the moment. So we'll pit in and see if they can fix any of that. I don't know if that was actually the pits back there or if they're using the pit box up here. We are significantly slower than everyone at the moment. Alright, so that is actually not the pits up there. She must have been back behind us. So we're going to call it quits here because this would just take all day and we got a good day to nighttime transition. Whew, that was absolutely, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The lights were actually on. Hasbin Trick says I need to turn the lights on. He wants to buy the... up. Let's see. Just actually got out of the live stream queue here. NVIDIA owes me a race, yeah. Definitely. No, Jammy316 King says, how come you went back to the T500 pedals? He thought I had the Fanatec V3 pedals. I do have the Fanatec V3 pedals. If you're reading the description, I have to update that. It automatically pastes in an old description every live stream I do. And then I try to go back and change as many as I could remember. But yeah, I'm still using my V3s. Royd Monster says he wants to buy the Vive, but he has a feeling that the Vive 2 would be coming out soon. Who knows? At this point, I think they're running into issues with... I mean, they could come out with the Vive 2, but I think the biggest problem right now is just pushing that many pixels. If it's going to be a higher pixel density, which I think it would have to be, is just really pushing that many pixels. That's the hardest thing they're going to have an issue with right now with the current graphics cards and just systems in general. I know from experience the Oculus does better on a software side with handling a slower system or just handling with what you're experiencing. So maybe software-wise they need to kind of pick that up. But Steam VR also handles quite a few different headsets. A lot of headsets are Steam VR compatible, so you know it's not as easy as Oculus having their own just their own platform and their own headset so they can adjust accordingly. Steam VR has to accommodate for a bunch of different headsets. Has this got the 1.03 update? It fixes the AI issue. Now, I'm not sure. I mean, for all I know, maybe this morning it installed the update. I didn't... Let me see if we definitely... Let's go to... It doesn't say that I have any updates pending in Steam VR. I mean, in Steam. Let's actually quit out of this. And let's see if it actually gives us... It looks like I did have an update. I can't tell. I can't tell if there was an update or not. It looks like it says 1 out of 1 items complete, and it was about 864 bytes. Completed actually just as we ended the game. So yeah, maybe when I exited the game just now, because it says it completed just now. So maybe as we just completed the game, it actually installed the update. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that. Hey Tom Jones, how you doing? We just driven, I think it was about 6 laps at the Nordschleife, transitioning from day to night in the rain, and we actually had a pretty decent race. Didn't do that great. Kind of held my position past a few cars and they would pass me again. Definitely got to experience the tires giving out very drastically. But overall, I do gotta say, Project Cars 2 I am very, very impressed with. If you have any questions regarding, you know, certain things you want me to test before you actually purchase, or just certain things you want to test in general, definitely leave me a message, leave a comment on the videos. I'll do my best to try it all. But overall, I'm very impressed with Project Cars 2 in the GT, GTE, and Group A cars. Some of those hardcore race cars I'm very impressed with. Some of the street cars I'm not. And there seems to be also vast differences between handling models in certain situations between cars that are in the same class. I'm not sure if that's realistic or not. I can't really test it with iRacing too much because, I mean, I own a lot of vehicles, but I seem to own like one vehicle per class. Assetto Corsa, I guess you could kind of see that a little bit, but it's not as pronounced as I was experiencing here in Project Cars 2. But overall, it's on a whole different playing field than Project Cars 1. And I think they definitely stepped it up a big notch. It's definitely a part of the conversation now when you're talking about Sims. But it should be interesting to see how this actually progresses. We did have it crash on us once, and someone in chat said they had a crash last night. So, you know, there is some software issues, although, I mean, that's the only time it crashed on me, and it's the only time we really had any issues. Besides the NVIDIA pop-up saying that you have an update pending on your graphics card, when that pop-up happened, it actually completely froze our title mid-race, which was a little jarring. So that's something else to keep in mind that may happen. But overall, I am very impressed with it, very happy. And Tom Jones asked if will I be in the race with Sean Cole tonight on Assetto Corsa? No, I actually work tonight, so I won't be here. I'm using the 2.5. Using the V2.5, the wheelbase. It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. I really love this wheelbase. I do gotta say, Tom Jones is asking about how do I feel about the V2.5. It is harder to drift with this wheelbase. You have to definitely go into settings and adjust things. Assetto Corsa, so far I've been only really lucky with Assetto Corsa with drifting. Might have to do with the wheel. A lot of people said that they experience better drifting with the actual drift wheel, being full circle and whatnot, and a little bit lighter. But the V2.5, you have to adjust the settings depending on what you're doing to get the most out of it, and it does make a difference. So, but all right. All right, all. So I'm Crash. This is RTA Motorsports. Thank you so much for stopping in. I greatly appreciate it. We're going to have a lot more content on Project Cars 2. Stay tuned. We're having a lot of fun with it. See you all next time.